Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. Now you see how we reach to that binary format. Happiness is our essential nature. It is the essential nature of every being, including the existence. On one side, that happiness, other side is the rest of the world. So now what elements are contained in this, that we are going to understand slowly, that the other side of the content is likes and dislikes, pain and the pleasure, the relationship, friends and the foes in the entire material world. Oh, this is what you're talking about, the binary format. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya. Simple meaning is let everyone be healthy, but if I say let everyone be in the state of well-being, complete well-being is present in the consciousness in the real self. Now you see again we reach to the binary format. So it means if I claim I am the body, forget about the complete state of the well-being. No possibility. No, I am the mind, no possibility. I am the thought, no possibility. I am the ego, no possibility. I am rich, no possibility. I am poor, no possibility. That is what we have started our talk today. So that needs to be understood cognitively. We need not to practice. We need to be aware. I'll make it little more aware. Sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani, let everyone be blessed and grace. It means that existence is sending its blessing and the grace, creating favorable, so-called creating favorable, unfavorable situation and conditions in our life perceived by the mind. But every situation, condition that I encounter is an opportunity for me to evolve, to remember, to remind that there are only two things exist in the world. One is the consciousness, that is I am the real self, and the other is the material world. When we live into that state of binary format, then we are the highest level of a seeker, and the seeker always receives grace and the blessing. When? All the time. Where? In all situations, in all relationships. Don't ask me where, everywhere. All the three together sends the auspiciousness at every moment in our life. That is the fourth line. Ma kasched dukha bhag bhave. That's a negative presentation to make our mind understand. Let there be no misery in the world. So when there is no misery at any moment in all the locations with any relationship in the world, that is nothing but the auspiciousness. That is how you just keep thinking, oh, this is the way. The binary format is there. I am consciousness and the rest is the matter. And you ask your intellect to contemplate and reflect. So when we reflect on it, we rise in awareness. And you rise in awareness, what happens? Is there a rise in awareness? You know, the language cannot convey the masses clearly. So that is why more and more explanations are required. So take up this example of rise in awareness. As you approach to the sun, the intensity of the heat and the light increases. Okay, it means I'm responsible for the intensity and the degree of the heat and the light of the sun. No, I am not. I approached there and I found the sun at that height has an intensity of the heat and the light. I did not increase the intensity and the degree of the heat. That is the meaning of rise in awareness. Normally, when we understand this rise in awareness has to do to make an effort and fight with my mind, control the mind, discipline. No! It is there. Why it is there? Because of the binary format. My goodness. No, it blows our mind. Blowing the mind means that the mind starts dropping the ignorance and the impurity. That is the way. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes and sigh. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. All the cognitive ability you see within few minutes, we are totally different and a new level of awareness. So now I am creating a principle for you. Listening and learning by a teacher is a preparation for meditation. Oh, that I know. Our mind instantly says, okay, that you know. So repeat listening with contemplation and reflection is the state of meditation. You are alone. You are not with the teacher. So that doubt is not there, that there are two consciousnesses. Again, I am repeating. Listening and learning by a teacher is nothing but the preparation of meditation with clarity and conviction. I added 2 more points now. Now repeat learning. Why I am repeating? There is a clarity and conviction. So repeat learning now with a contemplation and reflection that leads to discernment and dispassion is meditation. I made another statement, see that. Listening and learning by a teacher with awareness and attention, with one focus to know the real self is preparation. Repeat listening with contemplation and reflection in the state of discernment and dispassion. In the state of discernment and dispassion, let me find a real word to complete this sentence. In the state of discernment and dispassion leads to rise in awareness because there is a focus on the real self is what the meditation. I'm just trying to translate what this master says in a different way so that it makes you understand. Now we have added couple of, discernment and dispassion, and contemplation and reflection. But I added a word, focus. What is this focus? I have to make an effort? No. What is this focus? Explain. So there are 10 girls in front of you Your mind recognizes one girl to be your soulmate. How it recognizes? Just by being aware. That is known as focus. You need not to make an effort. Now, but go ahead, little deeper. That focus on a particular girl who would be your soulmate excluded the 9 girls naturally. That is discernment and dispassion. It can happen anytime. I need not to make an effort. I told you the story of one of my classmates went to Russia, returned, and then he while we were uh, doing an evening walk long back, maybe 83, 82, 84, and he said, I have 20 criteria to select a girl. I said, very good. Do you remember? So he selected all those 20 criteria. So he selected a girl from Holland. Yes, no, yeah. Holland is Netherlands. Yeah, they both are same. Yeah.
Yes, Holland and Netherlands is the same.
Same. So he chose, and he said to me after a week that it was 18 criteria that met, and so I am going for a marriage. So, well, it was a grand party. Everyone was happy. She came from Holland, and they got married. They spent they had a beautiful honeymoon, and then they both returned to Holland. After 6 months, that girl took away everything, all the gold and the money, and she threw him. He has to be deported. What happened to your 20 criteria? Then I have to take care of him for about 2 years. Come back. That example, focus is a natural focus. So now I am saying it is unnatural focus on anything in the material world.
But we have 8 criteria for the real self.
8 criteria. Now, see that. Yeah, hold on. Wait. So the moment I focus means on anything, any object, any person, any person in the world. So I have excluded the rest. That means I have discernment is there. Now I am not attached to other 9 girls, so dispassion is there on the surface. And deep inside the mind, I have fears, I have strong anxieties, I have duality and a conflict. That also goes with that focus. So discernment and dispassion is okay. I did it. Why? I chose 1 out of the 10. What about those 9 girls? I don't think about it. Why? Because she is my soulmate. But whatever I choose in the material world, behind the discernment and dispassion comes the division and the duality, the likes and the dislikes and the fear if someone also likes this girl. If she does not choose me, you have 1,000,000 ifs and buts. Whether it is a car or a girl or a boy or a house or a color or a shirt. Now reverse this. My focus is only on the real self. There lives only discernment and dispassion. There is no question of duality. Yes, the duality comes. So we say it is impurity. In other case, in the previous case, you say it is impurity, you are more frustrated. Hell with you, I thought that you are my soulmate, but now you are in love with someone else, I hate you. You return your home, you are frustrated. And with lot of you cannot do it with the real self. Can you do it? That is the real discernment and dispassion. So what happens now? You have to think, I gave you listening and learning by a teacher, preparation, listening and learning, repeat listening is meditation. Before I go to other topics. So mentally, by thinking, you have chosen the real self. Your focus is so natural. I desire for the real self, that is all. In every situation, condition, relationship, whatever is happening outside, I have chosen the real self. So now this discernment and dispassion is not dry. I'm answering objections to the people that I intellectually understand, but I don't get it. This is the answer of this. Because I desire for the real self. Where is the real self? It is inside me. It is present all the time. It is here and now. So there is no chance of the likes and dislikes. There is no chance of the fear and the anxiety. Only thing that comes is the superimposition by the mind. Where it is, how to find it. Now hold on. Go slowly. Remove. Mangalacharan. Understand that there is only a binary format. What? There is only two things, consciousness and the material world. Why you are asking this question, you tell your mind. Where are you asking this question, that where is the real self? Are you asking this question consciously with awareness? Yes. In discernment and dispassion? Yes. You are the real self. No, but again the mind jumps to the other things, and that is why we have those topics. That is why we have those topics to recognize. We need a cognitive ability only. We need not to do any practice, do not make any effort. Think, contemplate and reflect. So when you reflect on that, you see, yes, the answer is yes, and that answer, yes, is free from the fear and anxiety, because nobody can take my real self. There's the natural state of discernment and dispassion. I am the real self. So what happens? One day the mind says, you are the real self. That is what we say, the third out of the three statements. They remember, the mind knows the real self. Qualified mind can discover the real self. The mind illumines, or intellect illumines the real. That I'm there. Who says I'm there? Mind, but behind the mind there is a consciousness. That is the real self. That is the real self. What happens in that state? The mind still objects. Why? Mind still has those impurities. You get a spark of this. I understood it. I'm already there. But once I return, I'm not there. Disciples said to the master that now all the candles are lit. We have checked their flame and they are ready. Okay, my son, go and find out where is the darkness. Can you find the darkness when the candles are lit? That is the nature of ignorance and the impurity. Did I fight with the darkness? No. I don't see the darkness. Disciple returned that we didn't find the darkness. You cannot find it. That is what we say the focus on the real self. Now coming back to the same stuff. That is known as, that is why we say, for that our master says employed hundred of means. Surrender to the teacher, get emotional, redirect your emotions. But be very clear, it's all of the cognitive ability. Nothing else. Nothing. See that? Because masters realize that, this guy is crazy, he's not becoming a seeker. Then they say, you should know what do you mean by surrender. So surrender is again a mental, a cognitive ability. It is a part of awareness. It's a, yes, we start with the physical. We do, namaste is the form, expression that I have, I am you and you are me. That is surrender. I told you the story, I used to prostrate physically for a couple of years, and one day master said, do you want to rise further, or do you want to keep doing the same stuff again and again? You need not to do it. Physical. Physical is a form, an expression. Do you have the same spirit inside? Means, same spirit means what? You have the same awareness. So that physical prostration, the physical surrender converts into a mental and the emotional surrender. And from the emotional, you get the emotional freedom. From the emotional freedom, you have the cognitive ability that I am the master. Master is within me. Finished. It is all a play of mind. Normally, people give more importance to those seekers who bring thousands of gifts for the master. They prostrate, they keep their touching their feet, and rather than they press their feet more than required. So I've seen one guy who used to come, was a good seeker, good disciple. I won't say seeker. So every time he used to come, and he used to catch both the feet of the master, and he starts massaging. And the master used to get disturbed because what he is talking to the hundreds of people. Master plainly requested him that please don't do this. I know you are surrendering to me. I'm okay with it. So even if you don't do it, I will believe. I have a total faith in you. We didn't agree. That helped me to evolve. Every time he used to come, and one day the master shouted, "Get back! Stay 6 feet away from me." And he started crying that, no, please, master, don't get angry over me. I'm always blessed by you. He said, no, I'm not angry over you. You want to serve me? Yes, I want to serve you. Are you clear? Are you 100% sure? Yes. Do you know that I'm giving a talk to hundreds of people? Yes, master. Do you want to serve me? Yes. Do you know that if the master needs a service, they ask their seekers? Yes. Go to the bathroom for me. Let me continue for my journey. It blows your mind. It has nothing to do with the physical. It has nothing to do with the attachment. It has nothing to do with the likes and dislikes. Yeah, it's a part of the training to the mind. In the beginning, it is hooked. And then I reminded what my master told me, that how long you are going to prostrate like this. I related these two. I said, I got it now. It's purely a sense of awareness. Why it is a sense of awareness? Because it gives me an ability of clarity and conviction. It gives me the ability, it gives me my level of discernment is at the peak. Dispassion is at the peak. It has nothing to do with the physical level. It has more to do with inside your head. It happened really, and I said, this is what a great. So in that state, vidya dadati vinayam, knowledge gives you that sense of humility. You know what it means by surrender. You know what it means by the binary form. You can remind the same story, 10 girls, you have chosen one, discernment and dispassion, but it always comes with the fear, anger, anxiety, if and but is there. When I have a desire, I focus on I have a desire for the real self, no duality and division. You are free. When you can do, the moment you wake up, all the time, that sense of awareness is intact while doing all the activities of your life, living your personal, professional, social, or whatever. So I'm using the word focus. You have a desire, you have a focus on the real self. That simply means you entered into the nitya karma. This is what this master is saying. Desire on the real self, or focus on the real self. Hani says, where we are going for a lunch. Oh, wherever you want. The spontaneous answer comes. Why? I'm doing a nitya karma. I'm playing the role of my. Or if she poses any condition and you see, oh, it's okay, it's a part of the life. I may not like it because I have nothing to do with the likes and dislikes. Yes, yes, I will go there. Spontaneity comes in your life, where you are living at a rise in awareness. I have already explained each and every word. What does it mean by rise in awareness? Oh, you are living, because I am free from the likes and dislikes. My mind says I don't like to go there for a lunch because food is not available for me what I like. Oh, who cares? A rise in awareness. No, who cares? Everything happens instantly. Eat to live or live to eat. You remember? Ah, yeah, let us go. So the likes and dislikes causes the joy and the sorrow, causes the jealousy and the hatred, all are impurities of the mind caused by the ignorance. Rise in awareness, it is gone. Normally people teach, no, you have to go to a place where your honey says and you have to like what your honey likes. No. That is craziness. That is going to create a more problem in your life. One day you are definitely going to leave. Listening and learning by a teacher is a preparation for meditation, and with a focus you can say, I have already explained it. You can remember this and contemplate and reflect on that idea. So that thought is a product of knowledge. I have repeated hundreds of times. So that thought contains an object plus knowledge of an object plus reflected consciousness. Then I know that this girl I have chosen to be my soulmate, or any object in the world. Now what happens when you desire for the real self? So what is the object? The real self. So knowledge of the real self, I have a little knowledge that it lives within me, the cave of my heart. That is enough. Now do I need a reflected consciousness? No, because that real self is of the nature of the consciousness. So there is no chance of any fear, anxiety, duality, and a conflict, and I can live the whole day with that focus. Vidya dadati vinayam. So that vinayam, that humility, receptivity, gives us a qualification. Now I know, I look at my master and it is done. Surrender is already done. I remember him and it is done. Why? Rise in awareness. Fall in awareness. You see all the dualities in a conflict. Likes and dislikes and long list. It happened to me many times. I lived my personal life, family life, and the next moment I recognize, oh yes, that is the main thing. Let us go wherever you want to go. It's a one day to go to the lunch, whatever you want to eat it. And then my mind started taking more interest. Oh, did you like it? Yes, I liked it. Can we order one more so that you can eat in the dinner also? Yes. Yeah, take it. Do you like it? Yes, I like it. But when you say I like it, I filled my belly with the food that is essential. Done. Finished. This is the journey this master is talking about. That I should have clarity and conviction. I should live in that state of discernment and dispassion. And discernment and dispassion is natural, my friend, because your focus is there inside. You have already excluded all the desires. That is what the discernment is. Why to pay so much of pressure on your mind that, oh, I was not in... No, you are already there because you have chosen it. And because you have chosen, you have excluded everything. That very exclusion of everything is going to take you beyond likes and dislikes. It's natural. You are in Vivek, you are in Vairagya because you don't go to neighbor's house. Because it is more beautiful than yours, likes and dislikes. So you have to bring all these elements together. You have to juggle around. You have to play with these during the day, in every activity of your life. And you see how calmness comes from nowhere. The peace comes from nowhere. The joy comes from nowhere. And that nowhere is the real self. The mind leaves their tricks. Mind tricks. If you go to lunch for that food store, it will give you happiness. If you buy this car, it will give you happiness. If you say this to your honey, it will give you... All these thoughts are gone. You are always ready and spontaneous. Vidya dadati vinayam. So vinayam dadati patratam. Qualifications of discernment and dispassion and the calmness, they are already there. What is that state brings? Rise in awareness. What that rise in awareness? That my natural focus is on the real self, yet to be realized. Qualifications. Now that qualification, What it says, Vidya dadati vinyam, vinyam dadati patram, patratvat dhanam apanoti. So the word dhan means the wealth. So I explain in terms of the inner and the external wealth. So inner wealth, we already know the six treasures. And the external wealth means that now you meet a favorable conditions outside because your sins are now dropped down. Sins means unfavorable condition in my life, in relationship or whatever it is, pain or the pleasure. I don't take those unfavorable conditions as unfavorable because I am not guided by the likes and dislikes. I am not guided by the likes and dislikes. Yeah. Did we do anything? We understood. There is a clarity, there is a conviction, and that results into an awareness, and that awareness has a natural focus on the real self. Done. What practice you need? That is why this master says. So again I am saying, you can also add listening and learning by a teacher is a preparation for a mindfulness or meditation or awakening. Means you are a seeker. You are listening attentively. You are learning it. You continue the journey. But repeat listening and learning. Alone means only one consciousness. At least here in conversation, the mind still says, okay, how can you say there is only one consciousness? You are talking and I am receiving. But when you are alone, then what? So there you follow the contemplation, reflection, focus on the real self. You are there. And then dhanat, with that inner and the external wealth, now personal, professional, social, family life, no issue. Why though there is no issue? There is no likes or dislikes. Not because your honey is good or bad. Because the mind does not have that likes and dislikes. Why? Because you are living in discernment and dispassion. You have that cognitive ability. Your desire is to seek the real self. No, but I have to make an effort. No, you have to not make an effort. You are simply remembering that. Out of the 10 girls, you chose one. She is going to be my soulmate. So you do not start jumping. Later, you said, okay, let me talk to her and see. Here, you want to talk. It is already within you. There is no objection. There is no fear that you will be rejected. So that is how we contemplate and reflect in our life, and that leads us to a rise in awareness. Or you can say the cognitive ability, dhanat, with those inner and outer wealth, you ultimately, what happens? This is the master says. I am translating in a different. Dhanat dharma. Dharma, it says dharma. What is dharma? Mind is naturally focused on the real self. That is dharma. Now I am giving different interpretation. Dharma normally say religion, etc. Dharma also means doing the nitya karma, what is supposed to be done, what is right and good that you need to do it. Now there is another definition. When I'm a highest level of a seeker, master says you are naturally focused on the real self. Continue the journey. Based on your past impression and prarabdha, it will go because you are already living in the world, acting, working with the nitya and the naimitya karma. Once they are gone, ignorances will be gone, and tatah sukham, permanent happiness. What is permanent happiness? It is the real self. I recognize there is a permanent happiness. Obviously, permanent happiness is consciousness. So I recognize. So now I know why we started with the binary format. How simple it is. So simple it is for the highest level. So the first 12 steps you have seen, that first 12 steps. Someday you can revise. First 12 steps validates that there is a binary format. Now I'm giving another explanation of all those objections are ruled out. Why you are not going to the temple, and why don't you worship Krishna, and why don't you worship Shiva? Why? Yes, I'm worshipping Shiva. Whenever I go to the Krishna and the Shiva or any temple or any religious places, I worship whatever it is. But deeper inside, it's a binary format. I don't want to insert the God outside me. Now you have such a great conviction in your head. I don't have that level of ignorance that I should insert Krishna or the Shiva or any God who is present in a temple which is made up of the matter. It is totally unconscious. One asset. Other thing is that, oh, he is manifesting as a real self. Both are together. The one takes you away from the worldly desires, and the one takes you to the real self. That's why we had Mangalacharan. All those objections are ruled out by the master in the very beginning. So we should be, and the Mangalacharan with the binary format. So then we had 14th and 15th topic is all about Anubandha Chatushtaya. Four connections. Desire for the real self. The result is knowing the real self. Knowing the real self is the end of the suffering. End of the suffering means that I will awaken to permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. I connected all the four. From where the knowledge I will get? I will get the knowledge from the Eastern wisdom. How that knowledge is imparted? The teacher imparts that knowledge from the teachings of the masters. Yes. So, should I study physics? No. To know my real self? No. There is no question raised in any branch of the science, who am I? Even modern psychology, they talk of the behavior, and they create a wrong model of an individual is the real self. Individual means body, breath, mind, intellect, plus I thought is an individual. So obviously then you ask the science, then who am I? Oh, you are a man, your gender, your age, your behavior, your attitude, all belongs to the material world. So the master says here you need a faith and a belief. In early days are becoming a seeker, but now we are treating the path. We are at the highest level of a seeker. We know what we know. Eastern wisdom is a branch of the science that helps you realize who am I. Simple. So it means as long as I do not realize, I will follow this science, their principles. After that, drop all the principles, drop all the text, forget about them. You are already into that state. Can you forget the working of the car? No. You cannot forget. So what the master is pointing out here, he never used that word, but he says it is a model. We are creating a model with a binary format, with the real and the false and the unreal, with the three bodies, with the Panch Kosha, with the three waking. These are all models. If you are there, you don't need it. Focus on natural, focus on who am I, filtering out the rest. Maharshi Raman says, the time comes that very I dissolves by itself. What remains is the pure consciousness. That is you. Beautifully explained. Maharshi Raman. Maharshi Raman studied all these texts much later after he was realized. What a great guy. No comparison to him. He said, I focused on who am I during all my thinking, during the work, and I kept on my awareness and attention on who is this I inside. And I saw that I-ness dissolved. Realization is that consciousness was present all the time, everywhere, in all the locations. That is the real life. After that, he studied Gita and all the texts, and he figured out around 42, if I remember, 42 or 46 verses from the Gita out of 700. I said, this is what happened to me when I focused on real life. He said, you need not to study 700 verses. What a great. So it appears that he was a greater seeker than Arjuna, because who could realize in 46 verses? It is all about, this is what he presents in his own way. This master presents in his own way. Ah, what a beauty. Oh, he says, you understand. No, I did not understand. Again, I'm running after likes and no, let me return. Why mind why you run? Why you are running after likes and dislikes? Because there is some misconceptions are left. Misconceptions are left. Hatha Yoga says, breathe fast. 10 minutes. You will become fresh. What after that? Ignorance will continue. No, but it does not mean that you should not do it. We should be doing it regularly. So 16 to 20 topics, he talked about fourfold practices. But he put the highest level of a bar in the first 13 topics. Binary format, natural focus. So you focus on the real self, or we naturally focus also on the girl out of the 10 girls. But that has an element of likes and dislikes. But an if is there. If she refuses, I have chosen. Okay, she does not refuse now, but after 6 months, it's going to happen. Why? I have an expectation. You keep 1 million expectations on the real self, but the real self will accept you. You keep even one expectation to your honey. No, I'm not in a mood. I don't like this. Car is your honey, the car breaks down. How much you spent? $60,000. Car breaks down. You wear a shirt and after 5 days, leave this, let us buy another one. Food, anything in the world. Think of this. So 21 to 23, He said there are many groups of practices. I think we already discussed many groups of the practices. So we are aware now, many groups of practices, Kundalini, breathing, mantra, we are aware of it. So whenever it is required, we will use it. But we are not obsessed with it. So when the mind says, I'm not obsessed with any of these active steps, that is the highest level of a seeker, and the highest level of a seeker has only 3 steps. What is that? Listening and learning by a teacher, preparing yourself in the state of natural focus to the real self in the state of discernment and dispassion is a preparation for meditation. Repeat listening and learning. Why? In being alone, no chance of that there is another consciousness, because my focus is on the real self. My focus is not on anything in the world. Because if it is anything in the world, the mind will be confused. Oh, now I have 2 consciousnesses. One is mine and one is yours. It is because of this our every master laid down importance on freedom from the desire. Does not mean that you leave everything. Does not mean that you go to the Himalayas and standing on one foot and doing the tapasya. It has no meaning at all. Even the enlightened master, like my master, who says, now I am feeling hungry. Oh, you desired. You are not enlightened. So the person who says who is that is crazy. He does not understand. If I am feeling hungry, I should say that I am feeling hungry. Physical survival, it has to do it. Nitya karma. Nitya karma. So one more thing, all active steps, I'm living my personal, professional, social life, I'm doing Namah Shivaya, very good, keep on doing it, never leave it. Doing the last one practice, do it, continue to do it. That is the part of the karma yoga. Now divide completely, 2-fold classification, Jnana yoga, Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasa. The rest of the practices belongs to karma, because I'm active, I'm doing active steps, so it's a part of the karma yoga. Bhakti yoga, yes, it is karma yoga. Japa, karma yoga. Last practice I gave you, karma yoga. Hatha yoga practices, yes, do it. Breathing, do it. Karma yoga. Keep it separate. Whenever it is required, I will do it. Whenever you feel hungry, you eat it. You don't keep eating every day, all the day. We say it is secondary, so that is why I see that it was blockages, so I did it. So we take it casually. Then comes the real practice. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. So we should be knowing what exactly is Shravan, how the Shravan helps me, why Shravan is required. The same questions we will put to Manan, we will put to the Nididhyasan. You are saying, stressing on meditation. What will happen? So we should be very clear what will happen and what will not happen. We should be very clear. What should happen, what should not happen. If we are not clear, then then there will be ignorance left, and when we are live into that ignorance, then we will start running, our focus will change. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, one group of practice. Other group, Karma Yoga. From where I got this understanding? From Gita. Gita says the rest of these are Karma Yoga. Why you do the Karma Yoga? To purify the mind, to intensify, to become the seeker. When that happens, the life moves to